Hi, this is NecroSatan of the Australian band Christ Dismembered, and you are listening to The Bloodshed with the Vampire on Metal Messiah Radio International.
Hi, NecroSatan and hi, Plague. It's a great pleasure to have you guys here at The Bloodshed with the Vampire on Metal Messiah Radio International.
Thank you very much for having us, mate. It's going to be a pleasure.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Christ Dismembered formed in 2012 in the town of Millicent, Mount Gambier, South Australia. Millicent's a prosperous, friendly and vibrant community located in the heart of Limestone Coast region. Is named after Millicent Glenn, wife of one of the early pioneers and daughter of the first Anglican Bishop of Adelaide. NecroSatan or you, Blake, whoever wanna answer, how is the metal scene in the town of Millicent and in South Australia doing in general?
Well, in Millicent there's only actually about 5,000 people that live here, so we're actually the only band pretty much. Like, apart from us there's only cover bands, so that's not that great. Just down the road we've got Mount Gambier, which the scene's a little bit better in. There's not really a huge metal scene as such, but there's a good music scene in general. A few metal bands, a few punk bands, just a few just like rock bands in general, but there's nothing crazy. There's only about 30,000 people there as well.
The scene in Adelaide's quite good. It's definitely growing. The black metal scene really starting to take off. Yeah, there's definitely a few death metal bands, doom metal bands. But yeah, the black metal scene over the years in Adelaide has really taken off, and when we play there, we get a good response from all the bands there, all the metal bands that play. It's a good scene.
I see that in Australia you have some pretty well-known festival, but I'm not quite sure it is still going on, existing.
Got probably the best known metal festival in Australia at the moment is the New Dead Metal Fest, which is happening in September, which we will be playing at alongside Black Dahlia Murder, Aborted, Autopsy, Truth Corroded, and a whole lot of other really cool bands, really cool up and coming bands. And aside from that, the other probably most well known one is one that sort of recently started to make waves, which is Black and Open Air, which is done in the desert right in the middle of Australia, so like far away from everything, but I think that's a 2 or 3 day metal festival. Yeah, so that's we haven't been to that one yet, but hopefully sometime soon.
Okay, this question goes for you, NecroSatan. You are known as Frostfight in your own one-man black metal ambient band. After a couple of splits, EP, your release Live Ritual 2016 on cassette. When will you release the band's first full-length album, and are you planning to convert this one-man project to a complete live band?
Yeah, Frostvale, it's my sort of. It started out like sort of atmospheric black metal, but it's changed throughout. It's done a bit of dungeon synth work and all that kind of stuff as well. It sort of changes depending on my mood, really. But yeah, it's been. I've kept myself pretty busy with that over the last few years, and the album is well on its way. I can't really give a release date or anything yet, but I'm assuming it'll probably be out this year. Whether or not I take it to a full band, I haven't really thought that far ahead. It definitely will never be like a full-time full band. It'll always be my project, like, entirely. But I have played live once where I got Plague on the drums and another good friend of mine, Ivan, on the bass, and that was just for a private show, and that's what you hear on the live ritual tape. But it'll always be a solo project. But yeah, I would like to take it live sometime soon again, if possible. But at the moment, as far as live shows go, Christ Dismembered is definitely the priority. But who knows what's going to happen?
Any CD on the way?
Yeah, I'm working on a full-length album at the moment, actually. So I can't really say when it's going to be out, as it's still got a bit of work to go. But it is well on its way, and I'm assuming it'll probably be out by the end of the year. So it'll be the first full-length album.
Believe me, I gonna keep in touch with you to see to get like a premiere on this
awesome.
this release.
Yeah, that sounds good, mate. Awesome.
Okay, guys, Christ Dismembered, as I said, formed in 2012 by you, NecroSatan, and by you, Plague. And the band is an aggressive black metal band. I like to ask you both, guys, with still a very young age. You guys knew each other from a long time. You guys have been raised in the same town. I mean, as children, you guys have grown up together. And where has you guys been inspired by, where or by whom to become metal musician, and why have you chosen Christ Dismembered as the name of the band?
Jack and I knew each other for a while before we actually started playing. You know, we'd see each other around town kind of thing. We both knew that we played instruments, and then before you know it, you know, we sort of started jamming together.
As far as like influences go, I guess like my brother was my older brother played in metal bands as well, and he really got me into the guitar and sort of gave me a fair bit of inspiration there, and influenced my taste heavily. So like, what about you?
Yeah, I started growing up just sort of listening to sort of more kind of roadrunner metal bands like Sepultura, Soulfly, you know, Arch Enemy, those kind of bands. And then it just sort of snowballed from there. I just sort of got into just heavier sort of vocals, Dimmu Borgir. I started listening to Dark Funeral, and then the floodgates just opened really from there. Just listen to the heaviest sort of stuff now.
Real extreme.
Yeah.
But
that's it. Yeah, that's still looking for bands to listen to and still getting inspired, and yeah.
How did you decide on this name, Christ Dismembered?
Okay, yeah, we were called, very briefly, we were called Christ Ablaze for a fair while. And that, we sort of tossed around a few different names before we were an official band. And then the word started to get out that there was a band called Christ Ablaze. And we heard that there was some local religious folk who interpreted Christ Ablaze as like the light of Jesus. And that was not what we were going for at all. So we sort of had to change it to something which was a little bit more straight to the point and
a bit more obvious.
Yeah, just a little bit. I reckon it was a practice, and like Plague said, "Oh, we should call it Christ Dismembered or something," and we're like, "Yes, that'll do." So and then it just stuck after then. So yeah, straight to the point, really. Just nice and clear about what you're gonna get when you listen to a band called Christ Dismembered.
Okay, if you don't mind, would you like to present to us the current band lineup?
Yeah, absolutely. There's myself on guitar and vocals, and we've got Plague on drums, and we've been the two original members since day one. And we've also got the Sadist on rhythm guitar now, and Ominous on the bass. Yeah, we haven't had many lineup changes really. My brother was actually an initial member before we were called Christ Dismembered. He was an initial member on guitar, but for a majority of the existence of the band, it was just myself and Plague. And then when we decided to bring in a bass player, noticed the sound sort of fattened up a little bit, and then we're like, yeah, why not? Let's take it live. And after a few live shows, we're like, yeah, let's just get even heavier again. We need a second guitarist. And by the time we got the Sadist in, things just started, opportunities started coming one after another, and the live sound just got a whole lot heavier, and yeah, it was up and away from there.
But how did you meet these guys?
I've known Callum, Ominous, rather, the bass player. I've known Callum, Ominous for a long time before he joined this band. We'd actually jammed in a band years and years and years ago, when we were a lot younger. So I knew Callum through that. And when we were on the hunt for a bass player, I just knew Callum was pretty enthusiastic about what he did, and he was quite good. And yeah, I just approached him and asked him if he would be interested in joining. And yeah, here we are. And then with Sadist on rhythm guitar, we did a few local shows in Mount Gambier, and the Sadist would come with his friends and watch us play, and he was clearly quite blown away, I suppose. He just would approach me after shows and approach NecroSatan after shows and sort of praise us up, and I knew he played guitar and that he was pretty good, and yeah, sort of same thing really. I just said, would you be interested in joining, having a jam with us? Because I knew he played guitar and he was very good, and yeah, sort of just from there, it sort of just happened.
We've got very lucky as far as members go, really, because being in a town of this size, being two people in Millicent that actually like black metal is one hell of a coincidence, but finding a full band is quite impressive in a town this small. So yeah, and everyone brings something else to the table. So yeah, no, we've got everyone works differently. Everyone has their own ideas, so we all together very nicely. So we've got a good mix of members at the moment. So yeah, I'm assuming it'll probably stay this lineup for a very long time, or the foreseeable future. So yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You guys been together for the last 2 years, right?
Yeah, it started in 2012 just with myself and Plague, but the other two members joined, I reckon, about. We've had the bass player, Ominous, we've had him for probably about 3 years now.
Yeah.
And at the start of last year, the Sadist joined, and that was just after we started to tour a little bit, and our album was released after he joined. So for as long as we've been, I guess, well known, it's been the current lineup.
Christ Dismembered combines relentless, brutal death metal styled drums, melodic riff, reminiscent of the early Scandinavian black metal sound, and ear-piercing, high-pitched, raspy vocals. Christ Dismembered is destined to please any fans of Dark Funeral, Belphegor, Gorgoroth, Watain, 1349, and their likes. The band released Live Ritual 2014, a limited edition with 8 songs on cassette, December 13, 2014, independently. Tell us about the songs you have recorded under the name Live Ritual, and were these songs written a long time ago?
Well, that tape was recorded at our first performance ever. Well, I guess it was probably our second, but it's just at a private function that we had here, and we thought, yeah, we wanted to play a bit of music, so that was just in front of our friends and family, really, and we recorded it for a bit of fun, and then released him just to get something out there, really, and that was really cool. It was very limited. We only had about 20 copies of that made, so it was more of just a keepsake for us rather than an actual serious release. But the songs on there are all the same songs as you'll find on our first album, which we'd been writing together ever since about 2013. I reckon we started recording it in about 2014, and yeah, but it didn't actually get released until 2017, the full-length album. But yeah, no, that's a pretty pure release there, the old Live Ritual 2014.
Yeah, we only released I don't know how many tapes. It wasn't very many. But yeah, as NecroSatan said, we didn't really go about releasing them as such. We just sort of
handed them to those who we knew we were going to appreciate it. So yeah.
So they're pretty cool. Bit of a keepsake.
Christ Dismembered, their debut and self-titled album Christ Dismembered independently was released on May 27, 2017. If you guys don't mind, would you kindly present us the album tracking list?
Yeah, so the track listing is Up in the Face to God, Demise of the Unblack, Yearn for the Blood, Swarm of the Black Mass, Angelic Extermination, Blood of the Innocent, and Revel in Your Disgust. Revel in Your Disgust is by far, I'd say, our most popular track. That was, up until the release of our new single, that was like our song, that was like our anthem. That was the first single we released, and the views quickly exploded for that one, really. It's up to about 25,000 views now, I think. And yeah, that's always been a song people have well associated with us. After we released that song, we saw our Facebook feed like boom, and all the sales and that sort of boomed as well. So yeah, no, that was a bit of an anthem for us, that song. That's always the one we close shows with. We make sure we do it nice and fast and hectic and put on a good show. But yeah, no, that's definitely the favourite song off that album. And we still play most of them live. We are working on a second album at the moment, but yeah, we do still play most of them live, they'll probably get sort of phased out as new songs come in. But there are a lot of very strong songs on that album, I do believe.
Yeah, there are songs that we probably on that CD that we probably will continue to play for quite a long time, I'd imagine. But yeah, as NecroSatan said, once we get the new album released, which is in the works, we will, slowly fade out some of the songs and, bring them back in every now and then. But yeah, there are some classics, I suppose, that we have that we enjoy playing, and I'm sure the listeners enjoy listening to them too.
One thing I'll add as well is because we're on tour at the moment, and this is our first full-scale national tour that we're about halfway through at the moment.
With a duration of only 28 minutes, this album goes for the throat big time. Yes, it's time for some raw second-wave black metal, and Christ Dismembered play their brand of misanthropic hatred very well. When were all these songs done, and how was the songs written gone with you and Henry Inglis Davis and Chris Lane?
Chris Lane is my brother, and when the band first started, before we actually had the name Christ Dismembered, it was myself, Henry Plague on drums, and Chris on guitar, and I was actually doing bass at the very start. But Chris wrote A Slap in the Face to God, and contributed to Blood of the Innocent as well. And then after he left for his own, to focus on his own personal commitments, me and Plague kept on jamming. And I reckon it would have been, over the course of 2012 and 2013, the rest of the songs were written. So, it was a good process. Mostly we just jam and just see what came out, really.
Yeah, there's no, I wouldn't say there's really any real special process that we have. We just go into the room and Jack will lay down a riff, or I'll lay down some drums, or it just happens.
See what comes. I've always said the best songs are the ones that just sort of write themselves, really. Like, you can bust your ass on a song for months and not get anywhere with it, but like at the same time, if you come up with a really good riff, the song can just like write itself straight off the bat. So and that was mostly what that album was, just our songs, just ideas that we built up over time that slowly took shape for us.
Tell us about the recording. How was the recording session gone at your studio, Jack Lane, and with the work with Brett Leggett?
Oh yeah, Brett Leggett. Yeah, I'll let Plague talk about that part.
Yep. So with the recording of it, Jack did his guitars and vocals and rhythm guitars and bass at the local high school, I believe. Yeah, he was still in school at the time, so he was fortunate enough to be able to use the music room there and record, and that came out quite well. Initially, I first brought the drums into the school, but the sound wasn't fantastic with the stuff that they had. So then I got in contact with Brett. I can't remember exactly who got in contact with Brett to start with, but anyway, we got a hold of Brett and we actually took the drums back to our practice room and just recorded the drums there. I think we did it in one day, I think we did the drums, and they come out pretty well. The sound's fairly sort of organic. It's not over, I didn't want any real triggering or sampling too much in there. So yeah, it came out pretty well, and Jack's guitars and vocals and everything sounded really good in it, so we're pretty happy with that.
Very great.
Yeah, so
how come, since this is an outstanding album, you have decided to release it as an independent album? And are you guys now planning or looking for a record label?
That's a funny question, really. Like, we're not looking for a label. At the same time, we're not looking for a label, but it's just something that hasn't happened yet. With the amount of live performance and that we're doing, distribution of these kind of things in Australia is probably best left up to the band because of how widespread Australia is, and obviously there's a good European market and all that kind of stuff, which we still want to break into a little bit more. We're getting there, but being independent, we're doing a lot of touring, and it's just good to be able to have stuff to sell at your shows now, and that's what we find we have the most revenue. It's just straight, if people just buy it straight from us, and that's worked really well in our favour. At the same time, we probably wouldn't say no to a label if the right offer came, but it's not something we'd looked into yet. And something I will add is when we initially recorded this album, we never expected to grow as much as we have. So I guess we weren't really expecting it to be anything more than really just a personal project when we very first started writing the album. But obviously that's changed a lot, and now we're like a proper touring band. But at the time of the release, we just wanted something out, really, something we could sell at shows, something we could put our name to. So we didn't really look for labels at the time. It's not something that we're against by any means, but perhaps with album 2, that'll be definitely something we'll take a lot more seriously. And like I said, there is no reason why we would say no to a good offer if it came our way. But at the moment, our priorities were booking shows and touring and all that kind of stuff rather than searching for a label. But who knows what the future holds as far as that goes.
Have you done a release party?
Yeah, we did a release show last year in May. That was on the 27th of May last year. We did a big release show for the album where we had ourselves as headliners and our local friends Wounded Pig, a grindcore band from Mount Gambier, as well as In the Burial and Oath of Damnation, both from Adelaide, came down for the occasion. And yeah, it was a really good night. Great response. And we'd played a few shows away in cities prior to that, so we sort of took the albums along and sort of snuck a few out there and sold a few. But it was the official release date was May the 27th, and that was the date of the. We had a big release party, and it was great. It was really good response.
The band's debut album, released in May 2017, has been extremely successful, with Adelaide's Marsh Radio rating is as the third best heavy release of 2017. And the first single from the album, entitled Ravel in Your Disgust, reaching over 25,000 YouTube views. I must really still recommend this great album with killer tunes like A Slap in Your Face to God, Demise of the Unblack, Blood of the Innocents, Ravel in Your Disgust, to say some. How are you guys feeling about all this success the band gained with this album so far? And do you believe the next album shoot be on the same path as this debut one?
We're very humbled by the response. Like I said, how we're on our first national tour at the moment, and we're playing a lot of places we haven't played before. And every time we play a new place, the response is from a whole new crowd is just insane. And it's crazy how far the album's travelled. Everyone seems to have heard it. Yeah, and like we played a show in Adelaide on the weekend, and it was pretty much packed out. It was absolutely incredible, the response that we're getting, not just to the album but to the live shows as well. But the album has a lot to do with it. It's it's very humbling how much support we've got on behalf of the album. And yeah, the Mosh Radio thing was really cool. Yeah, they rated it as the third best release of 2017, so that was awesome. Very good to see that. That was alongside some other bands that we really admired. So that was really cool to see that one. And album two is well on its way, and it's going to be. Would you like to add something to that?
Yeah, album 2 should be. Well, first of all, as NecroSatan said, the support's just been overwhelming. Really, the response, it's just been amazing. I just, I can't believe it, really. The album 2 should be, hopefully, it will be received just as well, I imagine. I imagine the recordings are going to be, we'll source, maybe some sort of better, more professional help. Yeah, it's just some better gear, and we'll be better prepared for it, I suppose. But release 2 is going to be, it's going to be intense. Yeah, it's going to be, we'll have to prepare yourself for that one. I imagine that's going to be, very intense, mate.
Something I will add as well is, as far as the recording goes, I forgot to add this before, but the recording of the first album was very much a learning curve for both of us. Neither of us had done a whole lot of recording prior to this, and it was very DIY. So we've both grown as musicians, and our ear for music has matured in the last few years as well. It was definitely a great experience recording the first one, but album 2 will hit very hard. The vibes have not changed one bit. You've still got those evil riffs, those like brutal drums, same style vocals. So the vibes from the music you'll be getting are exactly the same as what you'll be getting from the first album, but album 2 is going to hit a lot harder. The songs are going to be much more well structured, and I cannot wait to hear what people have to say about it.
Guys, since the release of this album, Christ Dismembered have opened for international acts such as Angel Corpse from the United States, Grave Miasma from the UK, headlined Adelaide's inaugural Blastfest, performed at Adelaide's annual Heavy South Australia Fest. How did you guys feel about to be on the road with the band's members, and how was the experience at Blastfest and this Heavy South Australia Fest?
Yeah, it's really cool. Like, we're really good friends with each other as well as a band. We do get along really well. So being on the road with one another is awesome. It's definitely a good experience. Sometimes after the shows we're pretty knackered and we just want to get home and we're sort of sick of everything. But it is a great experience being on the road with guys, very like-minded individuals that we get along with really well. Heavy SA Festival was brilliant. That was actually organised by the same group of guys that organised the New Dead Festival, which is coming up in September. But except Heavy SA is just solely South Australian bands. So it was really good. I believe, we all believe, we've seen this firsthand, that South Australia does have a bit of a bad rap as far as music culture goes. For some reason, a lot of the wider Australia seem to think its offerings are subpar, but that's not the case at all once you look into it. The Adelaide scene is absolutely incredible, and as well as just the rural South Australia scene. So Heavy SA Festival was a brilliant initiative to showcase the talent that's in South Australia, and it's an absolutely awesome festival. Honoured to be a part of it. It was a great day. I reckon there would have been it was just a single day running show, probably about 700-800 people there throughout the whole day. So that was awesome playing to a crowd that big. And not only that, but being such a sort of controversial genre of black metal, most of the shows we play 100% black metal bands or like death black metal bands and that. But Heavy SA was a very mixed bag, all kinds of metal on the bill. It was awesome to see a large variety of music played on the one bill. And I think by doing that, because we do have such an intense stage show as well as intense music, I think we really opened people's eyes to black metal, probably for the first time. A lot of people who wouldn't have listened to it before at that show. So, Heavy SA is Awesome show. Awesome show.
Yeah.
I must say, you guys
Right.
just recorded the single, which now has been seen by over, just like in a week, over the 1,300 peoples. And this video under the name Spit Forth Your Lies on May 24th was this officially released. I must congratulate you guys with this awesome work. What a great song and what a great video was Spit Forth Your Lies.
Thank you
If
very
you don't-
much.
Thanks, Marty.
If you don't mind, I like to ask who was responsible for the filming, editing, and directing this video, and could you please tell us how was the recording gone at Reese Sutherland?
Yeah, okay. So yeah, the video was filmed by a young lad named Daniel McPherson. He runs a company up in Adelaide called MD Imagery. Very, very professional. This was the first really brutal thing he'd done, so it was an awesome experience for him, and he got right into it. He was incredibly creative. He came up with some really, really crazy ideas. So, awesome guy to work with. Yeah, so he was worked very fast. We got the video done in 2 days, so just a lot of hard work spread out over 2 days. And yeah, it was great fun working with him. Incredibly easy to work with, incredibly easygoing, very creative guy, a lot of awesome ideas. And yeah, we'll give another shout out to Stephen Cook, a friend of his who he brought down as well, who acted as the behind the scenes guy for that one. So he took a lot of photos and just sort of documented the whole creative process, which if you go onto our Instagram or our Facebook, you'll see a lot of the behind the scenes photos as well.
Very talented photographer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very talented.
And just
Yeah.
nice guys as well, really good guys to work with. So yeah, if any other Australian actors listening to this interview, yeah, hit those guys up for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I was amazed when I saw this video, and I only saw it, to be very honest with you, yesterday. When I was getting all this interview together, I said, let me take a look at this video. And, I was, I was amazed.
Thanks, mate.
I also want to add to it, what a great song lyric. I've been watching to the lyric, brainwash at birth, indoctrinated as they leak from the wand. Life drained from the head, be a slave or be dead.
That's it. Very traditional sort of Christ Dismembered style lyrics, but very straight to the point, dealing with child indoctrination and the other sort of negative sides of organised religion, which we documented pretty much all throughout our lyrical history. But they are good lyrics. Those ones, I feel like they're pretty straight to the point. And yeah, we'll add on to. I think I'll let Plague talk to you about working with Reese Sutherland as well for the recording. And I will add as well, it wasn't just Reese, there was another lad, Luke Bonham, massive shout out to him, who helped us with the drum recording on this one as well.
I did we had a fella named Luke Bonham. He plays in a few like local cover bands, and he does sound for shows, and he does a bit of recording here and there. And we hit him up to record the drums, so we had him come around to Ritual Chamber practice room and record the drums. And that was fine. Probably did the song in 3 or 4 takes. He did just like a basic sort of recording of it, and then we saved the files and then sent them to our mate Reese Sutherland, who pretty well mixed and mastered all the drums. And then all the other fellas in the band went there and did their guitars and vocals and backup vocals, and we all actually did. All of us did a few vocal spots in that song. You probably can't hear it too well in the mix, but yeah, I did some vocals in that too. But yeah, it all came out pretty well. Yeah, Reese delivered a pretty good sound.
Oh,
And, yeah, no, good on the bloke.
Indoctrinated as they leak from the wand. I love it.
That's it, yeah, that's it, mate.
Okay, killer album artwork, I must say, by Dico. How has you contacted him? Did he did the cover artwork for the self-titled album as well? And are you guys planning to use his services for the next album?
Well, what happened there, this one, I'll add about this one. When I got the logo done for Frostvale, for my project, I was done by Christoph Speidel, and Deco was a friend of Christoph's, and Deco's job was to, Christoph would draw the logo and send it to Deco, and Deco would do scan it and digitalize the logo. And so I sort of kept in touch with those guys like that, because I knew that they were very talented artists. However, I didn't know until recently that Deco was actually an artist of his own, not just like someone who helped out Christoph. And I checked out some of his artwork, and it was brilliant. And he was working on that one at the time just for no real reason in particular. And I said to him, like, hey, that is awesome. Like, that would really suit our new stuff. And yeah, and he let us have that one. And yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Very evil stuff. And suits the tone of the video as well. Like if we're going to talk about like how the video sort of deals with baptism and all that kind of stuff, and how the cover art of the single depicts a baptism, but he's got like the goats doing the baptism. That works with the theme of the video, sort of like the evil behind the scenes of religion and all that kind of stuff. I feel like that represents that very well. He didn't do the art for the first album. Got to talk about that one. Yeah. That's alright, no worries. Yeah, the artwork for the first album was done by an Indonesian lad called Dan's Putrid Art. And he was the same deal. We just, I'd seen he'd done work for other bands. And what we did for the art for the first album, I actually drew a sketch for it. Just like a cartoon, real basic. You have seen it's Jesus on the cross. And he's hanging out on the inverted crosses and all that kind of stuff. I drew that out onto just a cartoon style and sent it to him and said, look, here's our theme. Could you take this and make it look just like a whole lot nastier for us? And yeah, he did. Worked really fast, and yeah, I could not recommend either of those guys enough. Like, Deco, you're a legend, mate. Dan, you are too. Just like great guys, really easy to work with, incredibly talented. So yeah, hit them up for sure. I'm sure there's links to all. If you are interested in hitting them up, to anyone who's listening to this, if you go to our Bandcamp page and go to the releases, there is the details of all the artists in the credits section of the releases on our Bandcamp page. So yeah, no, incredibly talented blokes. Yeah, great guys. Really a pleasure to work with them.
Okay, guys, you are hitting the road or are busy already hitting the road. Your first Australian tour, 2018, promoting this music video. And this tour will take you to Adelaide, Melbourne to see some Mount Gambier, Hobart, Launceston and Perth. I must say that the band already played on June 2nd, June 15th, June 30th, the Blast Beat seminar to see some. How has these shows gone for the band? Who are bands you play with, and how had the fans receive you?
Yeah, that's our first national tour. Yeah, we'll give a few shout-outs to a few bands for sure. Yeah, the first show of the tour was in our hometown. We're sort of like one of our hometowns. We're a Millicent Mount Gambier-based band. The show was in Mount Gambier, and we had Diabolic Rights and In the Burial from Adelaide both come down and play at Flanagan's in Mount Gambier with us. And local shows can be a little bit hit and miss here, but that was a really fun night. Really good to see everyone come out and support us, so that was great. And then
so Melbourne, it was the first time in Melbourne, and that was unreal. Yeah, we loved it. It was really cold, by the way. It was freezing.
Yeah.
And then we played with In the Burial, Belligerent Intent, Adamus Exel, and
Soul Dusk as well.
That's right. Yeah, Soul Dusk. They were really, really good. I enjoyed them very much. They were only a 2-piece. Is that right?
Soul Dusk. It was interesting. They were just like an acoustic sort of folk band that opened the show, and although it was a crazy like mishmash of genres on the bill, like we had black metal, death metal, and folk, the vibe that their music gave was very similar to us. So there was a very, very welcome addition to the lineup, and we'll definitely like to play with them again sometime soon. That was it was a really good night. Absolutely freezing, torrential rain the whole time we were there, but I had a great time. And then on this past weekend we went up to Adelaide again. Adelaide's become like our home away from home. They've sort of adopted us into their scene there, and that show was absolutely mental. It was like a full house. It was crazy. And then we had Diabolic Rights and In the Burial on the bill for that one, as well as In Extremis, also from Adelaide, and that was their EP launch show as well. So that was great that we could share both our single launch and our EP launches together. So good occasion, and so we've played with some incredible acts so far, and we'll continue to do so. This weekend we're heading down to Tasmania for a few shows down there, which is going to be even colder than Melbourne down there. So we'll be rugging up lots, and then at the end of the month, we're really excited for. We're heading up to Perth, which is a long way away, but it's a big 2-stage 16-band festival all day long. So that is going to be one hell of an experience up there. So there's some awesome bands on the bill for that one. Rust in Perth. So yeah, shout out to Paul Discerny for having us on the bill for that one. But can't wait. And yeah, we do have a lot. Although that is technically the Perth show is the end of the tour, we still do have a lot planned for the rest of the year, and we will be heading back up to the East Coast to play more cities, which we are yet to really discover yet as well.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome playing in places we've never played before, and yeah, seeing the response and meeting, playing with other bands, meeting other musicians, and just lining up more shows, and just sort of snowballs from there.
Okay,
yeah, it's great.
You guys gonna be at the new Death 9 Metal Fest, headlining Black Dahlia Murder and Aborted, to say some, on September 22nd. What can the fans expect for your presentation or your performance on this festival?
It's that show is going to be absolutely out of control. We'll be bringing it big time for that one. Hopefully, we'll be playing a few new songs, and it's going to be crazy. Same as Heavy SA, I will say we're really looking forward to that show. Not only because obviously it's going to be a mental crowd, and playing alongside Aborted and Black Dahlia Murder is going to make the place go absolutely crazy, but it is a very mixed bill again, so it is going to be interesting to see how people react to our get-up. But no, it's going to be really good. And I will say the crowds can expect an awesome show, not just from us, but from everyone, because those kind of shows, we find it's really easy to put on an awesome show if everyone gets into it. And whenever we've played shows like this, the crowds go absolutely out of control, and we feed off that, and then in turn we just absolutely lose it on stage and go above and beyond. So yeah, now they can expect a full day of absolutely hectic art. It's going to be good, pretty good.
I'm sure of that. Okay, Christ Dismembered plays a style of black metal that is very fast and aggressive. In the mid-90s tradition, the production sounds very powerful for being a self-released recording, while the lyrics cover Satanism, anti-Christianity, revenge, and hatred themes. NecroSatan, I want to thank you, and Plague, I want to thank you as well very much again for taking time for this interview, and I want to hand you over the microphone of Metal Messiah Radio for you to invite all your friends, all your fans to support the band, to buy this debut album, Christ Dismembered, and to attend the shows the band has coming up.
Awesome, thank you very much, mate. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks for having us on the show, and yeah. No, we enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Keep up the good work, mate. Keep doing what you're doing.
Guys, before I leave, I believe question that everyone wants to know: when can we expect the new album?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. It is. We are slowly bringing the new songs into the set. We'll say it is more or less written. However, the actual production of the album itself hasn't yet begun, but we will be looking to that very soon. So we would say probably next year. But there will be more announcements to come on that very soon. And yeah, keep your eyes peeled. Get yourself ready, because if you like the first one, this one is going to be, like I said, the vibes are exactly the same, but it's just going to be way more intense.
Okay, guys, to all of you out there, I highly recommend you to support and buy this great self-titled album, Christ Dismembered, and the new 2018 single, Spit Forth Your Lies. So, in support of the band, come on, guys, go out there and buy these releases and attend the shows if you are in the area, somewhere in Australia. Go buy the tickets for these shows and support this great band, Christ Dismembered. Once again, guys, thank you very much. And like I always say, metal on. Bye-bye.
See you, mate. Good stuff. Thank you.
Hi, this is Plague of the Australian band Christ Dismembered, and I'd like to congratulate Metal Messiah Radio International with its 10 years anniversary.
Indoctrinated, you gotta lead from the wall.